up, y'all? What up, New London? It's News London Brunch, and it's me, your girl G, hosting this episode. How y'all feeling tonight? How y'all feeling? What's up, A-Town?
You're
Yo, Pablo from the 860. What it do?
Yo, what's good? What's good with you?
Gaines, how you feeling tonight?
Feeling well. And yourself?
I'm doing all right. Thank you for asking. And Miss Atherton Tings, Miss Janisha, how's it going, boo? How you feeling?
Feeling all right, Life is trying me, but I'll maneuver well. I'm doing good.
Yep, it's always gonna be something. You gotta learn how to get over them bumps. So tonight's episode, what we're gonna be talking about is substance abuse and how it affects your life, your children's life, the people who love you, how it affects them. And then I just want to get into some resources for people who feel like they may be struggling with it. Maybe they have a family member or a loved one that may be struggling with it. This topic is not coming from a place of judgment. This is coming from a place of been there, done that, bought the t-shirt, growing up in it. And I think it's just something that we need to discuss. And I just want to highlight the resources that we do have out here. And if you're offended by this topic, you know what I'm saying? Maybe you should write one of the numbers down. But I chose this topic specifically because substance abuse is something that I grew up in originally, obviously gotten taken away from my family in and out of foster homes. You know what I'm saying? It's something that my mother struggled with, that my father struggled with. And then in turn, as a young adult, it became something that I started to struggle with. And it got to the point, I guess in my place, it was a matter of kind of not being able to deal with certain emotions and just traumatic events that I had been through. And I would say I was probably trying to numb myself because I do love life. I love my son. I love my family. And who I was when I was abusing alcohol or just partying is nothing like the person that I had set out to be, to the point that, as a little girl, thinking back to my mom cracking open beers and just being, going through her struggle, the smell, I hated it. The things me and my brothers went through, I hated it. So, to grow up and kind of touch that line myself, it was scary. And it took a really big wake up call for me to snap back in and tap back into reality. And what I will say is that, being clear minded and being sober and not abusing alcohol, I mean, my life took a full 180. And where I do still experience, life's trials and tribulations, I am so much more well equipped to deal with them mentally, financially. And I just want people to know that there's an end to anything. Like, I don't care how old you are. I don't care how badly you abuse things or anything like that. There is a way out and there is help there. And if you don't have a support system, you can call News London Brunch your support system, because any one of us will be here. We all go through our things. We all have our own lives and all that. But this is something that I know firsthand how it feels to kind of like be alone in that situation. And sometimes you don't want to reach out to your own family, or you don't want to be clear with them. And I'm just letting y'all know that any of us on this panel will be here, to listen. And in this episode, like I said, we will touch on some resources, and just kind of, that's our way of giving back to the community and trying to get right and see you be the best you that you can be. And the first person I want to pass it to actually is my boy Pablo, because he has a few connections, you know what I'm saying? And I want to give him the floor so he can, tell us anything, he might have experienced with substance abuse that affected him or the way he grew up, or a loved one. And then he'll share some resources with us. Pablo?
Okay, thank you. So yeah, I mean, as did you. I also grew up, around substance abuse. Me being a kid, I ain't know what was going on. I didn't find out till I was around like 11, 12, and really took notice like my mom, was strung out with her current husband at the time. I think my dad used to get high too. He still, deals with that. I think to this day. He may be clean. We don't really stay in contact like that. Um, but I know when my mom decided to get clean, I was 13 years old. And I remember going to meetings, NA meetings with my mom. Um, and I've heard all types of stories. Like it's crazy. And that's part of the reason why I'm not judgmental now, is because like I've heard some of the craziest shit from some of the dopest people you'll meet. You know what I'm saying? So it was crazy how you see somebody and you don't know the struggle that they're going through. And a lot of people don't show it. You would never know, you know what I'm saying? What a lot of people have been through. Um, with addiction, as specifically. Um, so yeah, I've literally watched my mom stay clean for fucking 22 years now, 23 years. So yeah, it's possible. I've also seen people relapse over and over and over and over again. I've, heard stories of you constant stories of people ODing. My mom is in that circle of people in recovery and shit. So she hears about all these, people that are relapsing, people that are ODing, when fentanyl was going crazy. It was crazy. And my mom's been working at SCAD for, I want to say, 10 years. She just celebrated um this past year. So she's always been in it since she decided to get clean. She's always been in like that atmosphere of like, addiction and people trying to get out of that and people trying to go through recovery. Um and I mean, dog, like at all ages. I know people I went to school with, you know what I'm saying? Like I was in fucking fifth grade with them, sixth grade with them, and they get in recovery and shit like that. And it was never something I go around talking about type shit. I would never say their name. They know who they are. But yeah. So I've seen it. I've heard all types of shit, bro. I'm not gonna get more into that. But my girl, she actually works for SCAD. She's been there, I want to say 8 years, 7 to 8 years. Um, and that's all they do is try to help people in recovery, try to help people, you know, get to recovery, start recovery. Um, she had a bunch of stuff she wanted to talk about. I wish I would have got that from her because she was telling me something about like they're trying to change the language of it. Um, because sometimes the language, like when you think of like she was saying something about how like drug abuse isn't like the proper terminology that should be used because it brings all these negative connotations instead of thinking about other things. So you only think negative when you think about drug abuse type shit. And so yeah, that's a whole nother thing too. But I do have the number to SCAD, and it's you can call them anytime, and it's you call them for whatever, it's not a you don't have to have a certain addiction. um and so the number is 860-447-1717, and that's SCAD, which is the um Southern Connecticut or Southeast Council on Alcoholism and Drug Dependence. And they will help you. You know what I'm saying? You gotta want to do the shit, of course, but there's a lot of resources um for people in recovery or people who want to seek recovery. Um, but I don't want to dig too much more in my story on it. It is an ongoing situation, drug addiction. Um, it's all different drugs now. Always a new drug coming out, taking over and shit. And if some people won't say it if they need help, but if you see it, just do your part You can show them the water, of course. You can't make them drink, but it only takes you reaching out and trying, and trying to do your part if you notice something like that. But I don't know. I smoke weed. I got my own. Everybody got their own vice and shit. What I will say is, because I feel like everybody has their own little drug of choice. As long as you don't let it consume you and you can handle your shit, I guess the best way to say it. I've seen people be, you know, do hard drugs their whole life, but they've always worked, kept a job. So is that drug abuse? You know what I'm saying? Because it's a whole different situation than like the man you see on the corner asking for change to go buy crack. Like it's not the same situation. But everybody's different, drugs abuse, people's addictive natures, some are stronger than others. Some people don't get addicted to shit. Me, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't addicted to weed. At one point I feel like I was addicted to cigarettes, that's a thing in the past now. But so I have an addictive nature. But fear is actually what kept me from wanting to be interested in any other drug besides weed. You know what I'm saying? I was more scared of anything than interested in getting high off something. So that's just the way I lived. That's the way it helped me. But you could call that number I gave you. Again, it's 860-447-1717. And if you need help with something as far as recovery, they'll do everything they can to help you.
Thank you, Paul. And yes, Scott, I'm familiar with. My mom has taken many, 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 many trips around the sun to detox in and out. And just like a brief overview, I had a boy out of town. When I was younger, he was out here, and went away for a little bit. And a couple years ago, I actually linked back up with him. And he was telling me how he was on Suboxone, which kind of like at first I'm like, because he's always been, fly dude, like you said, Paul. Some people, they do drugs their whole life and, it doesn't really show, they still go to work, they still keep a house, keep a car, all this stuff. And he was that kind of guy, like, fly all the time, like taking care of his business. And he said he was taking perks. And what happened was he ended up getting arrested and doing a little bid, and he was in jail. And that's when he realized that he actually had an addiction to the point that he was sick with Percocets. He got to jail and, now you in there, you ain't got no access to nothing. And, I'm talking shitting, sick, throwing up, all of that. And it took for him to go to jail to realize that he actually had a problem. You know what I'm saying? So it's not even always just about being able to keep things afloat or go to work and all that. Like really think about your body and what you're doing to your body, because even though you can make it look good, your body's not doing good on the inside, and you won't know till you know. And that's the scary part about it. So one thing I do know about SCAD, like he said, you can call that number, and their first step is they'll detox you. They have a detox program where, obviously depending on what you're on or what you're using, the time frame will vary. But normally, they'll take you in for about 5 to 7 days. They will monitor you, take your vitals, all that, make sure that you're not having any withdrawal symptoms that could be deadly, like because you can die from alcohol withdrawal. And they'll see you through that detox. And from there, they'll start you on outpatient, and they can help you with whatever needs that you have to continue your sobriety, because sometimes that detox be the hardest part. So SCAD is really awesome with that. And again, that number is 860-447-1717. Thank you again, Paul. And I'm going to pass it over to DJ Games Bond.
News London Brunch was good. Oh man, how did it go to me? It should have went to A-Town. Look at him looking over there, looking all studious and shit. You see this, man? Nah, but one, I want to say you guys look fantastic. So that's awesome. You know, we got some new things lined up. So appreciate you guys for tuning in. G, I want to give you a pat on the back. Excellent use of the 180 phrase and not 360. That was excellent. Because some people say 360 and they're wrong. But I'm gonna get into the textbook definition of what substance abuse is, and then we could pass it on from there. So basically, substance abuse refers to the excessive and harmful use of drugs or alcohol. It is characterized by the persistent and compulsive use of these substances despite the negative consequences it may have on one person's physical, mental, and social health. Substance abuse can lead to a range of problems, including addiction, health problems, relationship issues, financial troubles, and legal problems. It can also have a significant impact on a person's work and school performance and overall quality of life. Some of the most commonly abused substances include alcohol, tobacco, marijuana, prescription drugs, and illicit drugs such as cocaine, heroin, and everything else. So, based upon that, right? Abuse is just, abuse, something you use overly outside of its normal. If let's say if you had a medication and it said use it 3 times and use it 7, you're abusing it. Things of that nature. So substance abuse is exactly that, and it's addictive. And as everyone else has said, it can ruin your life. There's no positive to substance abuse. So basically, as they say, too much of something is no good for you, and that is 100% fact. So once again, I believe I'm gonna tell you guys that number and pass it back to the host, 860-447, right? 1717. Did I hit it good? All right, cool. I just wanted to read that textbook definition. I'm gonna slide it back to Miss G.
Thank you. Thank you. I love me a good textbook definition because out here in New London, you start trying to describe substance abuse. I don't know where we gonna end up with that conversation because but yeah,
Yeah,
like he
hold on,
said,
I feel like sugar would be in that category then. Like simple sugar, that shit is harmful for you. You know what I'm saying? If you
like
overuse it,
sugar you put
that's
in your
crazy.
coffee.
Just sugar, regular ass fucking
Everything.
sugar, salt.
If
Like
too much of anything
Anything.
is bad for you. Too
yeah,
much
salt.
water is bad for you. Anything in excess is bad for you. Everything in
Correct.
moderation. But
Yeah, it's crazy when you
Correct.
read the definition. It said like drug or alcohol. It's like nah, you don't mention all the other shit. That's a whole nother topic. All the other
Yeah,
shit
well,
that's
that's because
killing.
he was reading a definition for substance abuse.
No.
And
Yeah, that's what I'm
that's
saying. But a substance is anything. That's why I'm saying salt would be a substance abuse. But with the definition, I don't want to change the topic of this. This has got something to do with like, the shit training you and shit like that. Because they don't want you to pay attention that salt is killing you, but they'll say, hey, substance abuse refers to just drugs type shit. But I just want to throw that in.
Nah, absolutely. I know what you're saying, but what I will say is I would have rather my mom growing up to abuse salt instead of alcohol.
Oh,
I think that
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
we'd have
No
been able
question.
to handle things a little bit better. I'm
Yeah.
wondering what you thought.
Facts. Nah, that's no question.
And I like how in the definition it said, it causes an array of problems as far as, in your relationships and all that stuff, because that's another thing that people forget. Like, you got to understand that majority of substances, the first thing that it does is cloud your judgment. And I know that being sober now, there's people that, and not that I dislike them or anything, but there's people that, I would hang around all the time, like drinking or partying or whatever, that I can't stomach anymore. And they're just, not that there's anything wrong with them or like, you know what I'm saying? It's just not my crowd. And your values change tremendously. You know what I'm saying? And don't get me wrong, like I'll still step out with, my friend, or if people hit me up to come out. But like recently, this past weekend, a couple of my friends were trying to get me to come out. There was a couple things going on. And I said, honestly, like, it does nothing for me. Like, I'm at home with my pimple cream on. I'm watching a show. Like, I got my little snacks over here. It's just, when you're drinking, you participate in things that you really wouldn't while you're sober. So that's just one thing, your judgment is so much better without abusing certain substances. And from here, I'm gonna pass it over to A-Town, because I want to hear his perspective. You know what I'm saying? I know he's still be in the world a little bit. And you know, you take one stroll downtown and you see it live full in effect. You know what I'm saying? Like the screaming, the spirits, especially being sober. I tell you, because I obviously if I go out now, I'm sober, and just to see the way people act is so crazy. And it's like, Lord, please tell me I was not out here acting like that. Knowing that I was.
You was, but congrats
I
on being.
was.
I say congrats on being sober. To you, A-Town.
Oh, congrats on being sober.
He
Not to
said,
you, to her.
congrats.
Oh, all right, just checking, dog.
Congrats- Congrats on being high. Go ahead.
Thank you. And A-Town, I'm gonna pass it to you. And just let me know if you need me to run any of them numbers back for you. You know what I'm saying?
Now I got my own number, dog.
I know that's right.
You know, somebody said we had to do some type of homework. Anyway, check this out, right? If y'all like going through the things that y'all going through and y'all need help, you know, you might have been out there messing with them needles and, you know, caught some shit, sharing needles or doing whatever. You got substance abuse issues, like you need help home with all of that. They got this thing called assistance of living on Broad Street. The number is 447-0884. Yeah, 447-0884. And they, you know, they help you with everything that you need to do to get everything in order, like frozen water. You know what I'm saying? The Mexicans are trying to break into a car outside. Y'all gotta excuse me. Well, they're not Mexicans. You know, somebody's doing something if you hear that alarm in the background. But anyways, substance abuse, man, it's you know, I was on both sides of that, man. You know, I used to be in the trenches. And I used to be in the trenches and have to stay up with the consumers, and I ain't play with my nose. Like I ain't never do like the hardcore drugs, like no crack, coke, dope. Like I didn't do that. Like I just did the drugs of my generation, man. The weed, the e-pills, smoked dust, some shrooms, acid. I did all kind of shit at my array of living. But one thing I did do while I was indulging in those mind-altering extracurricular activities is I always told myself, it's always the drugs. Whatever you're doing, you're high, you're on a bad trip or whatever, like it's just the drugs. Like it's not real. Like it's not real. So, you know, for me, it was just like, you know, opening that third eye and seeing into the other realm and shit like that. Like, and plus, you know, take the e-pills, stay up with the, you know what I mean, with the rock stars and things of that nature. Like, I mean, like it was a way of life that I thought was a way you were supposed to live when you like in the trenches or you moving how, you know, in the streets. Like it was just all toxic, stinking thinking. Like yo, you're a rapper, so you got to live with your rapping, and you got to move like this, and you got to do that, and it was just just a lot of dumb shit, man. Like, you know, shout out to my PO to make sure I piss clean, because you know, without her, I'd probably be eating all kind of pills and doing weird, goofy shit, trying to deal with the shit I'm going through, and there would have been a bunch of self medication and a bunch of dumb shit. Like, so, you know. You know what I mean? Now it's just staying out the way, staying out the mix. You know what I mean? I just smoke my weed, drink my drink, and I do that shit in moderation. Like I don't, you ask anybody that really know me, they know King Tut, Bottle Gang A. I pull it up, spent more money on spilt liquor than y'all niggas made all year type of shit back in the day. Now I'm fucked up. I mean, now I'm regular. You know what I'm saying? So I did it, I seen it, I experienced it, I lived with, I've seen people, like it's crazy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Low key, the worst thing you could be is like a functioning addict, like because you don't think there's a problem because you're taking care of all of your whatever you think you need to be taken care of, and you're dealing with the shit that you're dealing with, but it's kind of hard because you know if you don't think you ain't doing nothing wrong, then you're not gonna try to fix nothing that might be wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like that's gonna be the hard part. So when like you know what I mean, what I suggest really like is, seek help. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, go get that therapy, man. Like, you can't do this shit by yourself. Like, bad enough black people don't like the doctors or hospitals, so they're not even gonna go get their bodies checked out, let alone their mind. Your mind control everything in your body, but you're not gonna see a doctor to get that right. So I suggest y'all go get some therapy so y'all could deal with the shit y'all dealing with instead of turning to drugs and alcohol, trying to self-medicate so you don't feel and you ain't gotta like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'll deal with it another time. Like, nah, that's not it. Like, nah, get that help, dog. And if you don't want to do the therapy, like, find that friend that you could talk to. Like, talk to that motherfucker. Like, really talk to him. Because if you don't talk to him, all you're gonna do is keep perpetuating the cycle. That's it. You're gonna do what you do. You're gonna get mad about it. You're gonna get high. You're gonna get drunk. You're gonna go in the cycle, and a whole bunch of chaos and unstable shit is gonna happen because you're going through that cycle, and then because you don't give a fuck, and then when you do give a fuck and you look back, everything that you worked so hard for, it's so easy to lose all that shit behind just being not taking their mental health that serious. Like, you know how much shit you will figure out about you. Like, you go see that therapist, or you talk, or you play the wide game and you peel those layers back, and you figure out what your underlying issues are. Once you figure out what your underlying issues are, everything else is gonna be fine. Because 97.9% of your problems all stem from your underlying issues. Why you do the things you do, why you hang with the people you hang with, why do you keep dealing with the type of people you dealing with, why it's like, oh, you always get, like, trust me, like, once you get to know and accept what your underlying issues is, like, oh shit, this is what's wrong with me, everything will get better. Because now you can identify what happened in your lifetime, and you can, the underlying issues will go with that. What goes with this? What goes with that? All right, cool, cool, cool. Now, once you know all of that, and now you in future mode, and you in present mode, future mode, and you moving, and something happened, and you're like, oh, wait. When I get triggered, I used to do this, that, and the third, but I only did that because of my underlying issues. Now I figured out I'm cool now. I don't gotta move like that. Trust me, man. It's a beautiful thing, man. Trust me, man. You might lose a lot of friends, but they really not friends. They just people you was hanging with when you was getting high. Like, because your real friends is gonna want to see you be better, want to see you do better. They're not gonna use you to get some shit they need done. People that love you don't do shit like that. Your real friends don't do shit like that. Your real friends don't watch you crash and burn. You know what I'm saying? That's your real friends. Your real friends won't watch you crash and burn. If you won't help yourself, and they can't help you, they rather just leave you be until you figure it out and then spend back. Because I can't watch you crash and burn. I can't. You know what I'm saying? The people that's not your friend, they're going to be around for the show. Trust me. They're going to be right there front row. You know what I'm saying? Eating popcorn, roasting marshmallows, cracking jokes. They was just in your face, mad cool. It was all love. When you thought you was up, but when you crack up, nigga, jokes on you, dog. You know what I'm saying? So it's mind over matter. The people that mind don't matter. The ones that matter don't mind. You know what I'm saying? Love you and get you in order like frozen water and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and with that being said, don't forget, if you sick mentally, any other thing, whatever, you gonna have to, you know what I'm saying, call that number 447-0884. You know what I'm saying? Get in tune with them. They can help you with your homelessness issues. Cause if you're homeless, you stressed and depressed. You might be drinking, drugging, and thugging because you feel like you at the bottom. You might have, they deal with other things, like if you went out there and ended up getting you a house in Virginia. Hint, 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 wink, wink. You know what I'm saying? You went and got you some real estate down in VA. They can help you with that. You know what I'm saying? You got these drug problems and all that. They can help you with that. Like, you know what I mean? Holla at them. Call SCAD. You know what I'm saying? 447-1717. You know what I'm saying? 860 is the area code, like my boy Pablito from the 8660. 8660. That's the new one. Cause it's like, it's extra. We so extra. We need another 6 to 8, 6, 8, 8. Yeah, all that, because it's extra. You know what I'm saying? But that's my time, man. You know what I mean? I'm about to be up out of here because I got a couple things to do, man. So thanks for coming. This 30-minute special was phenomenal. Yeah, 30-minute special was phenomenal. You feel me?
Thank you, A-Town. Thank you, thank you. I just had a quick question because I remember Bottle Gang, my 25th birthday, niggas pulled up crazy. Word to who I ain't have to get carried out of Bella's. Like, slumped diddly. He had bottles on bottles on bottles at my table. You know what I'm saying? Like, I literally didn't even remember leaving. We woke up the next day. There was a big ass cake in the back of the rental, smushed everywhere. Like, I didn't even get to remember it. I saw the pictures though, and based on the pictures, I think I had a good time. I just wasn't there mentally. And my question is, you know, since you quote unquote a normal guy, you know, living good, doing better, you know what I'm saying? Try to make sure you cross your T's, dot your I's. I see you, big man. How many of them people is around?
Which people?
The ones you was with every weekend.
You talk about the hoes or the bros?
All
The
of them,
bitches,
both of them.
man, them bitches jump ship, dog. Well, you know, the real ones are still around, man. You know, with the ones that just wanted what they could get, how they can, you know, they jump ship. And you know, people that know me knows who's around, and the ones that know me know who's not around. It just is what
And
it
the,
is.
and the thing about it is that, you know, and like I said, I'm not judging nobody. I'm not putting nobody down who party all the time or go out all the time or drink or, you know what I'm saying? They do whatever they do. But, you know what I'm saying? When you around that crowd, even whether they love you or they don't love you, like, you know what I'm saying? They still can't even tell you nothing because if you don't know no better, you can't do no better. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
So if
yeah.
everybody in the same boat and getting fucked up and getting turned up and all that is what we living for, then you know what I'm saying? It's fine and dandy. Everybody cool. But soon as
Matter
you
of
start
fact,
to clean, go ahead.
nah, I was gonna say something like, cause you know, I think people might let me not politically correct, not PC my shit, but the people, you know, when I was, you know, moving and grooving and doing the things I was doing, like I was moving a certain type of way, so I needed and had certain people around me for certain things. Like it just is what it is. Like, you know what I'm saying? You know, I was fucking with the fellas and we was getting money and shit like that. Like, so okay, this is what we doing. So we together every day because this is what we on. Like a lot of us grew up, some people grew apart, some people is in jail, some people are dead. Like so it just is what it is. So, you know, a couple certain people that was around me when, you know, I was on the moon and it was lit, they still around. Certain women are still around too. Like, but at the same time, like I'm not doing the same shit I was doing then. So, like I said, these people are around for specific reasons. I don't have those specific reasons anymore. No reason like for y'all to be around me. Like I don't need y'all to be around me no more like that because I'm not moving how I was moving when I needed certain things to be done. I don't need those things to be done. So if you are around me, it's because I want you to be around me, or you want to be around me, and we're kind of on the same kind of time. Like you feel me? Like if I'm a regular nigga, like I'm not running around with no street nigga all day long for what? Nigga, I got work in the morning and you got drugs to sell. Like, you know what I'm saying? You got shit to do. I got to get up 5 o'clock in the morning so I can get to work. Like, you could just stay up all night, sleep when you want. Like, so it's different. You feel me? Like, not to say that we not cool or nothing. It just is what it is. I ain't been outside in months. Like, I ain't been at the bars in months. Like, and it's cause I ain't had no business being out there. I'm not trapping. I just got back to working, so a nigga ain't had no bread. So fuck, I look like sitting in some bitch face with no bread. Like that sounds dumb. Like nigga, I ain't got
Yeah.
no bread. Why am I outside? Why am I? That sounds dumb. I don't know. Like it's crazy. You know what I'm saying? And now that I'm back working, like I ain't even pressed about. Oh shit, let's go. Like now, if I'm gonna go somewhere, I'm going to an event. Like, let's go to an event. Let's go do this or whatever. I might stop in for a quick little whistle wetter. I'm not getting dressed and going out around these parts. Like I'm straight. If I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do something cool. But I'm chilling, like you know what I mean. I'm still like still fuck with a couple people and it's still cool and all that. But people's lives change. Like that was like mad years ago. People got other shit going on. Like, it's okay to grow apart. If the love is real, the love isn't gonna change. You know what I'm saying? So it's all cool. Like I got dudes, I got friends. Like these are my friends, and I can count them on one hand, and I got too many fingers. I don't care how much time goes by from when I see them, it's like I just seen them yesterday. The love is like I just seen them yesterday. But now I get the pleasure of catching up with you. Tell me what's been going on with you. And I can hear all your accomplishments and I can congratulate you, or you could tell me about your struggles and I can give you some kind words or motive or whatever to make you feel better about whatever. But the love isn't going to change because that's my man. You know what I'm saying? People get wrapped up in the, oh, I ain't heard from you in so long, you changed. Like, no, bitch, I just got responsibilities or I got shit going on. Like, we grown as fuck. Like, we should be able as adults to do that. Like, you feel me? Like, so let me
And
like,
long story short, the two, they just don't go hand in hand. Like when you start getting to business and all that, a lot of the other stuff starts getting cut off. But as we're trying to keep on the time schedule, thank you, A-Town, for your input. I really appreciate that.
no
And
doubt.
the program that you suggested and gave the number for. And I want to pass this to our very special panelist, for real host, Janisha, and hear her intake, her take on this. Janisha?
What's up, y'all?
Hi.
I liked everybody's perspective, honestly. I listened to everybody, and some things resonated with me quite a bit, whether people would believe that or not. And just to get a little candid about me, as far as help goes, I am a life coach. You can contact me anytime. I do emergency phone calls. I do group mentoring. I do grief management, trauma counseling, relationship therapy, marriage counseling therapy and techniques, balance and wellness, and building future aspirations. I help you help yourself get to where you want to be for your life. And I honestly started doing that after I graduated in life coach wellness, because when my mom passed away, I lost myself. I carried it very well, but I got pretty deep into drinking and it wasn't cool. I had a child that was special needs. I mean, that is special needs. So that's all rough in itself, to lose your course and have such a responsibility and a husband. It didn't look good. It started by looking at the trash can and seeing multiple bottles, you know what I'm saying? And in certain things like that, it took my husband to tell me, hey, do you look at the trash can? Do you see the counter? Now, at a certain age, you don't think about it like that, because back in the day, you was chilling. I mean, any of y'all that used to know me, and I say used to because I'm not the same individual, but used to know me, grew up with me, on William Street, Big Blue House on the corner across from Benny Dover, that I used to party. I went by Jay Holla, okay? Holla at me and we about to whatever. You know what I'm saying? So from 14 to 25, living my life like it's golden, all right? Had no family, had no responsibility. So, I lived my 20s how I felt was accordingly, but it wasn't accordingly. I drank a lot. I could have saved my money. I could have did a lot of things, and I experienced life for real. So to fast forward to that, getting things that I wanted, such as a stable relationship, a man that was about me, a marriage, my kid, and to be a drunk after I lose pretty much everything, my mom and everything that I thought I knew dear, everything that came with it. You guys knew back in the day, my mom was there telling y'all to put the shit in the red cups. You know what I'm saying? So I lost my best friend and I lost my mind. You know what I'm saying? And it took quite a bit to bounce back. It took me really considering my mental health and trying to put myself first, which is selfish when you have a child because your kids come first. So I had to get back on track and do that, then find peace in myself. You know what I'm saying? And I did that I went to therapy for a little while and it worked for the time that I needed it. And then I went to school and I focused on what I naturally do. I've always listened to people. I've always been non-judgmental of your plights. I don't care if you didn't have a place to stay. I don't care if you didn't wash your ass. Like, I was there, my house, my home, me. And I used to think that only existed because it came in the form of my mom. But that's like always been me. It was an inner thing I had to find, and I wanted to perfect it and educate it. So you're looking at your life coach today. I have my degree. I've helped people. I have clients. So I am here to anybody. If you want me, hire me, or even if you just need an emergency phone call or a text, that's just me. That's the purpose of New London Brunch. This is why I wanted to do this project. You know what I'm saying? Mental health is a big deal. Mental health and substance abuse all goes hand in hand. Sometimes you can't recognize it until you're looking at it in your face, or something fucks up, or you lose something. And sometimes you end up in jail or places that you don't want to be in order to recognize it. It's pretty, as an adult, as many adults, you know, we live in that life, especially in our communities, just to keep going, or you're too strong, or you got to be strong. You got to be strong. Don't cry, no tears. You know, that whole saying, how that goes in our community. Keep going, because we have to. Mental health was never a thing until, I would say, up in the recent years, for people to think that it's okay to and be in tune with your mental health or go get help. At this point in time, now that society knows that it's okay to do, because there's a lot of trauma there in all families, and that's not just in the Black and brown community. That's everybody has some type of dysfunctionalism, addiction. Everybody's family has somebody in their family that just can't get it together. And it's not a judgment thing. It's something that needs to be recognized, and you don't got to talk shit or tear them down, but try to get them to see how they're destroying their life. And then at the end of the day, as an adult, yes, you do need to take accountability and say, hey, I need to get started and do this. And I'm struggling with this and I want to do this. But consistency is key. You know what I'm saying? You can't just keep making excuses for it, because the problem does not fix itself. I mean, as far as Paul, I was listening to you, you was talking about cigarettes. I've never smoked cigarettes, but I used to smoke blunts. And when I used to smoke blunts, you know, that tobacco line is in there. And you get addicted, and you didn't realize the type of addiction you have just off of some damn cigarettes. You know what I'm saying? Which I never smoked, but I smoked blunts at the time. You know what I'm saying? This is back then. So, you know, you start feeling different. You know, you start looking at yourself, how you smell, how you carry yourself. You look like you got jaundice, your ass, you smell like ass and cologne. You hug people and the cologne sticking to other people. Like, you can see when the addiction or the substance has taken over. It starts with your appearance, then your behavior, then your patterns, and then you're always speculating or feeling insecure that somebody's talking about you, because you know you're not doing right for yourself. They might be talking about you. They might be talking to see how they can help you. They might be talking to see how to get you to wake up, because they see you have so much to lose and you're so drunk or high or gone, you can't see it yourself. It's a monster. But it's nothing to be ashamed of, because when you come out on the other side of it, you be like, wow, that was a hell of a ride. Look at me now. And I try to say that to myself every day. I try to work on that every day. I mean, I noticed, and I'm gonna be candid really quick because I don't want to take up too much time, but I've gotten a lot of inboxes about where we have been as a podcast, where our absences lied, why the episodes are so lacking and things like that. And I want to say wholeheartedly, that has nothing to do with my team and everything to do with me as a leader and a host, because I'm somebody that really cares so much. And when the world starts to get really overwhelming, I have to take a step back and make sure I'm still in line for my family, make sure I'm still in line doing whatever I need to do in life, and still make sure I'm in line to help the clients that do pay for my services. And social media, after our first episode, Are You Addicted to Social Media? That stuck out in itself. See, when we do topics and we talk about things, it's not stuff just for other people. Sometimes we feel that shit too. And sometimes those topics really touch bases in our own personal life. And we're not ashamed to talk about that. And we're not ashamed to bring that to light, because that is building community communication. That is life. We are adults. We are adults, and we are the adults trying to shape the future beneath us, which are these kids. And they got it rough. You could see what's happening in our community. You could see what's happening on the news. You could see what's happening in other communities to people that look like us, these children. We see what traumas and things that we had to overcome that our elders have taught us that we're still trying to break. It's a big deal. It all boils down to mental health, and then it boils down to substance abuse and other things. So take life seriously is how I see it. And you can have fun. You can wild out. It's not a moment where you just say, oh, everything's got to be serious. Oh my God, I can't live. No, you can live. But if you're just drinking and smoking and popping pills and shooting up, and that's just your routine every week to go to work, you're not really living anyway. In retrospect, that's how I see it anyway. And I could be wrong unless you're just living the best life on drugs. I mean, I'm proud of you if you can do that. It's expensive life. But to try a sober life and you never had one, it's a whole nother life. It's a whole nother meaning. So it doesn't matter what your vice is. And you could do it moderately. And, if you got a balance on it, like Paul said, and you really handle yourself well, that's good. Because some people do, but some people don't. And for the ones that don't, if you never feel happy and you always feel depressed and you still can't find the reason why, that means that's part of the reason. It's part of the reason. So as far as that goes, you guys all touched on some great topics and bases. As far as information to give out, I have myself, of course, and I'm not promoting or showboating. I'm just saying that's what I have. And also, Shema in Norwich, it is a mental facility, not entirely. They also, have a shelter for women and children when they're in domestic violence. And that address, I believe, is 401 West Thames Street in Norwich. And the phone number is 860-859-4500. I will also drop my can't even talk because this episode is heavy because it touches a lot of bases. I didn't grow up around substances, but I definitely have family members that have struggled, and they are some of them are no longer here. And it just sucks. It's a painful thing to see somebody be swallowed up by substances, period. So oh yeah, I will post my link to my page also if anybody wants to get in contact with me for anything, or you can hit me up on Facebook and I'll get you connected. We'll post it on our News London Brunch page and on my regular page if you're friends with me. I believe in strict confidentiality. You would never know who any of my clients are. So you guys already know that. If you do know me, for the most part, you know what I'm coming with. So tonight, guys, we said a mouthful. I'm going to pass it over to our host for the evening and bless our community. I want to say a prayer for our community too before we close out. Not that it has to pertain to this topic, but just because life is short and you never know what can happen. In our community, we lost a young lady named Nia. I'm not familiar with her personally, but I know a lot of people that are traumatically affected, and my heart goes out to her mother and her family. I'm a mother, I can't imagine. So my heart and my prayers go out to the family wholeheartedly.
Thank you very much.
I grew up with a lot of her family. You know what I mean? When I was young, growing up on Mountain Ave. That's so yeah. I just want to send my condolences to the whole family.
Thank you, Pablo. Thank you. And I also appreciate all of you guys doing a little bit of homework that I asked, and just putting some resources out there for our community. Like I said, you can reach out to me, to Janisha as well. I could walk you through any process that I'm aware of. SCAD, if they got a bed open, you go down there and you literally only need to show up with yourself and some socks and some clean underwear, and they will get you right, at least detox in 5 to 7 days. Another very good program that I wanted to mention briefly it's called Family Reentry. And this is for women, men, women or men who have suffered domestic violence situations. This is for people who have been institutionalized in and out of jail a lot. And I'm bringing this program up because a lot of people don't realize that their substance abuse is connected to something, to some type of trauma, or even just having a stressful life, going in and out of jail and coming home and, trying to get back into society and do right. And you feel like you don't have any resources, you need housing, you may have kids, and, you're on the mother's time because you're not set up for all that. This program will help you with all that. And this is just a quick, brief overview. Family Reentry offers a holistic approach, working to connect clients to basic needs and offering support to affect behavioral change and increase stronger coping and life skills. Programs are designed to facilitate healthy relationships, enhance family connections, and address issues. This program has services which include substance abuse and mental health treatment, family intervention, psychoeducational groups, intensive case management support, life skills training, mentoring, and re-entry housing. So this is, one for right now. I'm speaking to, some of the guys out there who have, had that in and out bids in jail and stuff like that. And, you're trying to do right and all that. There are programs for you as well that will help you get housing, to help you, create a family base in your own home for your children and all that. And they have a couple offices. Their main office is out in Bridgeport. They have one in Norwalk, in New Haven, in Waterbury, and they also have locations in Stamford, Derby, New London, and Norwich. And the main office number is 203-838-0496. So if anybody's interested in reaching out and seeing where the New London location is, please feel free to do that and see what resources you can get for yourself so that you can start working up here and, get your life back on track. But we are hitting time this evening, and News London Brunch is back at it. It's been a little up and down, scheduling issues, but we're always going to be right here. We're going to keep coming through and trying to help out any way we can in the community. And also, we want to start doing a couple giveaways. We're going to be going through who is on our YouTube page. So if you have not already, go to our YouTube page, our YouTube channel, News London Brunch, like and subscribe. The people that are subscribed, we will pull their names, we'll put them into a hat. We have a couple giveaways, some gift cards. I will be putting out a 4-hour clean from Genie Cleaning Services, LLC, as well. And we'll keep you posted on when we'll be doing the episode to pull a winner and, give you guys something just for tuning in and sticking out with us. And we love y'all like always. You already know, New London, stand up.
New London, stand up.
Hey.